All information, all feedback that we get as human beings, no matter what your gender, your ethnicity, your belief systems, the way you were raised, is all the same. Information comes to our sensory organs, it flows through our nervous system, comes up through our spinal cord, and enters our reptilian brain. As information flows primarily and first into our reptilian brain, we run into our first obstacle, which is the reptilian brain itself. The reptilian brain is designed as a survival mechanism. All it sees, all information that comes through it, it runs it through a filter that says, is this going to kill us or is this not going to kill us? With this filter, there's no gray. It's all binary thinking. So with that, when someone at work calls you a name or you're in a near-miss accident on a highway, your reptilian brain sees both of these things as exactly the same thing. These are both survival situations. So it throws you into a survival situation. And so it starts to react in the survival situation. Your reptilian brain functions very, very quickly because it has to keep us alive. It was one of our survival mechanisms back in the day when we were dealing with saber-toothed tigers and large bears and predatory animals that could kill us instantly. So we needed something that would react quickly, and that's our reptilian brain. With our reptilian brain, it reacts in three ways. In our reptilian brain, it sees things through the survival or not survival through three modes. Do we fight? Do we flee? Or do we freeze? Each one of those has a different mechanism. So like a reptile, snakes are not more afraid of us than we are of them. Snakes do not fear us. Snakes see us and are making a judgment. Is this something I can fight? Is this something I should run away from, or should I just stay still? We do the same thing when we're in these critical moments, is the fight, flight, or freeze. To get out of this mode, so we're not in that fight or flight or freeze mode, what we're going to move into is a strategy or a skill called sensory centering. So to get us out of our reptilian brain and to trick it that we are not in danger, we do something called sensory centering. So this takes the focus away from our reptilian brain into our sensory centers. So with sensory centering, what we're trying to do is to activate our three major senses. This is a 3-2-1 model. First, we're going to see what we see, then we're going to listen, and then we're going to smell. And what this does is this takes us from the top of the funnel and gets us more and more sensory centered. So with the three, what we do is if we're in a stressful or a difficult situation, or maybe a beautiful situation where we want to make a memory, we stop in that situation and you look around and try to find three things that you see. As I'm sitting in here, I look around and I see a pine tree. I look around here and I see my dog. I look around here and I see a good friend. That's three things I see. The second thing we do is two things that we hear. And so what I do is I stop and I actually close my eyes and listen for two things that I hear. I don't hear anything in here because Jason's done a great job of making it quiet, but you could imagine I could hear the wind, or I could hear my dog grunting, or I could hear a bird singing, or I could hear air conditioner humming. But whatever it is, focusing in on that, actually focusing our hearing on what I hear, actually brings us down the funnel and closer to sensory centering. The last one is to actually recognize what we smell. Smell is our strongest memory maker. It is also our strongest sensory organ, is to figure out what we smell. If you remember, so many of your greatest memories are connected to smells. Smells of grandma's chocolate chip cookies or the smell right before an accident. People always record that smell is strong. A lot of times smells are hard to find. So in a situation like that, if I'm outside, I might pick up some pine needles or some dirt and smell that. I might find some essential oils when I'm trying to get ready for a test, like some sage or some lavender or something, to really activate that smell memory. But with that smell, we become more centered. So what sensory centering does, it takes us out of our reptilian brain when we're in chaos and puts us more into a sensory center. It tricks our reptilian brain, says we're not in physical danger, we're not in danger of physical trauma, and that allows that information to bypass or move through your reptilian brain and move on to the next level. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Beth Shoup, and I teach high school social studies, and I wanted to talk about strategies for the skill of body awareness. The first is called grounding. This is where you look for three things that you can see, and two things that you can hear, and one thing that you can touch or feel. The skill is helpful because our senses only exist in the here and now. I do this when I'm frustrated by the way my class is acting, Before I address my class, I pause and practice this skill. I get control of my emotions so that I don't do damage to our relationship. Second strategy is the body scan. This is where you take your focus and your attention on your feet, and you gradually move up your body, paying attention to any discomfort or tension that might exist. I do it whenever I have trouble turning my mind off while I'm trying to fall asleep at night. I tell my students to do this before they take a test or give a speech. It stops your brain from thinking about the what ifs of the future or the should haves of the past. It allows your brain to focus on something else so you can perform better, relax enough to fall asleep, or move into your thinking brain so you can have a hard conversation. The skill of body awareness allows us to have a better understanding of our emotions, which will empower us to make healthier choices and interact with more intention and integrity.
Hello, I took Brian Maddox's emotional intelligence class. I'm one of his pupils. I've taken a lot of refreshers, and I'm here to talk about things that ground you, everyday things that ground you. And so I'm here in the deep heart of Yellowstone, one of the farthest places in the lower 48 you can go from a road. And what I would like to tell you about what Brian taught me is 3 things to see, 2 to hear, 1 to smell that ground you in the moment, that grabs the senses and brings the brain back to the present and helps you enjoy that. So 3 things that I see are Yellowstone Lake here, the old growth forest behind, and the Absaroka Mountains in the smoke. 2 things that I hear are the silence of deep in the heart of Yellowstone and occasionally a sandhill crane that grounds me here, and I smell the smoke from the forest fires, and that makes this moment now. Emotional intelligence grounding. Thanks.
Thank you for watching the video. My greatest hope is that by watching this, you either change your mindset or your intention or your practice. In this chaotic world, one of the things that brings back hope and help is a concept of bringing back control. And control comes back in little pieces. So through practice and rituals, you can regain control and regain energy. When we are fatigued and we are exhausted, one of the things we forget is where we do have control and where we do have power. Control and power comes through how we express the energy we have in our life. It also comes through how we change the rituals and the routines that we're practicing. Through watching this video, I hope you found a way to change your mindset and your outcomes and found a better and healing place to find energy. If you have any more questions, you're welcome to go to kairosSEI.com, where you can find more resources and more information on our website. Thank you.